Hi everybody. Today we're going to look at estimating quotients from lessons 4.1 and 4.5. Go ahead and start by writing the title on your notes. Remember, our whole unit is focused on how we can use place value to divide. And today I want you to learn how to estimate quotients when necessary to solve problems or when you need it to check an answer. Let's start with this example. The bakery made 110 pumpkin muffins. They will be packed in boxes with 8 muffins in each box. About how many boxes will there be? To solve this problem, I know that there's a total of 110 pumpkin muffins, and that they're going to pack them with 8 muffins in each box. Since I'm separating a total into groups, I'm going to divide. For this problem, I can use multiples to find my answer. The question is, about how many boxes will there be? It's that key word about that tells me I'm going to estimate the answer to 110 divided by 8. Since my basic facts bring me up to 8 times 10, which is 80. To solve 110 divided by 8, I can't use a basic fact, so I'm going to think of multiples. To start, I'll list multiples of 8. 8, 16, 24. Go ahead and list multiples of 8 until you get past 110. Then replay to see how you did. All right, I went ahead and finished. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, 88, 96, 104, and 112. Now those are a lot of multiples of 8. Looking at my multiples of 8, I can see that 110 is going to fall in between 104 and 112. I'm going to count to see which multiples of 8 those are. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Since 104 is the 13th multiple, and 112 is the 14th multiple. That tells me that 8 times 13 is 104, and 8 times 14 is 112. I now have 2 answers that this quotient is between. 110 divided by 8 is between 13 and 14. Now I'm going to look. 110 is closer to 112 than it is to 104. And since it's closer to 112 than 104, the answer will be closer to 14 than 13. So my best estimate then would be 14. 110 divided by 8 is about 14. Now let's look at another example. If I need to estimate 196 divided by 4, and I want to use multiples to do so, it's going to take me a very long time to count by 4 to get to 196. Instead of starting with 4 times 1 as my multiples and counting up, I can start at a higher number. I know that 4 times 10 is 40, but that's still a long way from 196. So I can find 4 times 20, which would be 80. That's closer. What about 4 times 30? It's 120, or 4 times 40. That's 160. If I went to 4 times 50, that would be 200. That would be too high. So I'm going to start multiples of 4 at 4 times 40, which is 160. I'm going to go ahead and put the multiple number on the top and then my multiple on the bottom. This will help me find my answer. 4 times 40 is 160. Counting by 4s, I go 164, 168, 172, 176, 180, 184, 188, 192, 196. I've actually landed on 196. Since I started counting from 160, which was 4 times 40, this would be 4 times 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49, telling me that 196 divided by 4 is 49. Go ahead and copy this example into your notes. Let's look at another problem. While listing multiples is one way to solve a problem, you can also use compatible numbers. Compatible numbers are numbers that are easily to compute with mentally. Think about this. A horse's heart beats 132 times in 3 minutes. About how many times does it beat in 1 minute? Since the problem tells me that the horse heart beats 132 times in 3 minutes, and I want to break those apart into single minutes, I'm going to divide 132 by the 3 minutes to find about how many times it beats in 1 minute. That keyword about tells me I'm going to find my estimate. And my squiggly equal sign means exactly that. I'm looking for an estimate. So let's try it. I could list multiples of 3 until I got close to 132 to find the estimate to 132 divided by 3. Or I could use compatible numbers. Just like when we did dividing by tens, hundreds, and thousands, we looked for a basic fact. I'm going to think about a basic fact. What basic fact would give me an exact answer if I'm dividing by 3? 13 divided by 3 won't have an exact answer, but 12 divided by 3 would have an exact answer. And 15 divided by 3 would have an exact answer. Since 13 is in the middle of the multiples 12 and 15 when counting by 3, those are the problems I'm going to use. Since the number is not 13, but really 13 tens, I'm going to use the numbers 120, using my basic fact 12 times 3, and 150, because 132 falls in between those numbers and helps me find a number that I can compute with easily. I'm going to divide both of those numbers by 3 to find my answer. 120 divided by 3 is 4, with the 0 for 40, and 150 divided by 3 is 5, with the 0 for 50. Now, 132, is it closer to 120 or 150? It's a little bit closer to 120. So the best estimate in this case would be about 40, but the answer would be between 40 and 50. Go ahead and copy this example into your notes as well. Let's look at one more example. What if a problem wants two estimates, looking at 1,382 divided by 5? Let's see, if I think about my multiples of 5, and 13 is my beginning, 10 is the multiple of 5 that's before that, and 15 is after it. So I'm going to do 1,000 divided by 5 and 1,500 divided by 5. 1,000 divided by 5 is going to use the basic fact of 10 divided by 5, which is 2, giving me an estimate of about 200. And 1,500 divided by 5 is going to use the basic fact of 15 divided by 5 to give me 3 with my 2 zeros for 300. So I can say that my estimate would be between 200 and 300. Let's try a few more examples together. Using multiples to start, I'm going to do 41 divided by 3. But I don't want to start at 3 to count all the way to 41. I know 3 times 10 is 30, so I'm going to start my multiples there. 3 times 10 is 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, and I've already passed 41. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 41 falls between 39 and 42. That tells me the estimate to 41 divided by 3 is between 13 and 14. Since 41 is closer to 42, the best estimate in this case would be 14. Let's try it now for 192 divided by 5. Just like I didn't want to count by 3 all the way to 41, I certainly don't want to count by 5s all the way to 192. I know 5 times 10 is 50. I know 5 times 20 is 100. 5 times 30 is 150. And 5 times 40 is going to be higher than 192. It'll be 200. So I'm going to start at 5 times 30. And I'm going to list multiples of 5 starting with 150. 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 180, 185, 190, 195. I've passed 192. 150 was the 30th multiple of 5. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. The estimate for 192 divided by 5 is between 38 and 39. In this case, 192 is a little bit closer to 190, making a better estimate 38. Now, compatible numbers is often a quicker way. Can you use compatible numbers to find the best estimate for these two problems? Give it a shot. Then replay to check your work. For 176 divided by 8, I use the compatible numbers of 16 and 24 to get 160 and 240. Dividing those by 8, I got 20 and 30. Since 176 is closer to 160, my best estimate is about 20. For 2,795, I used the compatible numbers of 21 and 28, getting answers of 300 and 400. But since 2,795 is much closer to 2,800 than 2,100, my best estimate is about 400. It's that time. It's time for your check. Complete the check that goes with this lesson. We'll review these problems in class tomorrow and use them to set up groups. Don't forget to bring your notes and have a great night.